Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Vidyadharan. This is from Vidya Spoken English Learner. Actually, we have a new topic today. The use of idioms and phrases in story narration. But actually the impact it creates in story narration. That is the area of discussion today. Before coming to the topic, I'm really telling sorry to you all because our uploading has delayed due to some technical issues. Okay, let's come back to the topic. Use of idioms and phrases. Why we use idioms and phrases in story narration? Okay, I'm telling you like this. Idioms and phrases strengthen interaction and increasing active participation by adding flavor, humor, and cultural context. Actually, it transforms simple and direct description into vivid, memorable imagery. You know, the vivid is actually standing for powerful and clear. Memorable is what is lasting in the memory. And imagery actually creates images in our mind. Actually, these are the things which we get when we follow idioms and phrases in story narration. Those scenes, those characters, those dialogues may be coming to our mind. And it will be clear. It is lasting. It will be lasting. Let's come back to the idioms. Idioms are fixed figurative expressions with an unchanging structure and non-literal. Its meaning can't be judged from the individual words. For example, break the ice. This means to relieve tension. Another idiom you can think of is kick the bucket. That means to die. Break a leg. That is good luck. So this way, we cannot imagine the meaning of it from the individual parts or individual words. Let's talk about phrases. Phrases are a group of words that function together grammatically to form part of a sentence. It maintains a literal, straightforward meaning. For example, all of a sudden means quickly, without action, without thinking. Yet another one is back at home. That is as we return home. And here we have to note that all idioms are phrases, but all phrases are not idioms. That's it. In order to explain and understand the use of words and phrases, let's go for the story. This is actually the horror story, the part 2. It's a continuation of the part 1. Now we can listen the story. Let us listen to the story, The Horrible Night, part 2. Here I am giving you the recap of part 1. The story is based on a trip for trekking. It was a dark, rainy night. We reached there in the minibus, and there were 12 students and 2 teachers only. Out of 12, 4 were girls. We planned our lodging and dinner in the palace, which was situated in an isolated place in the forest area. The students were put in dormitories, and there were a lot of rooms in the palace. After dinner, they all slept. The time was around 1 a.m. I was struck by hearing a heavy sound. I peeped outside through the window. It was so dark and deadly. I saw someone in a long black coat and a hat in the lightning, dragging someone away from the palace towards the forest. The next day, early morning, around 6, we met again before the dining table for breakfast. Reshma was absent. What happened to Reshma? I don't know. I changed to Srikanth's room, and that was the replay flicker. Suddenly, they searched her room. We noticed thick blood spread over the room. There was signs of dragging the body through the corridor. The situation became bad. The students became scared, and nobody had the mind to move, and we decided to return. Let us listen to part 2 now. They came out and observed that the tires of the vehicle are all damaged. This made the matters worse, and I thought that we were trapped. I called the police again, but there was no connection. Nobody was there to help us. We came outside, looked around. To break the ice, we teachers went for a walk. No one, no shops, nothing on the way. We walked almost 8 kilometers from the palace towards the north. At last, we came across a shop of groceries and vegetables. There was a person inside. We talked to him about a tall man. I asked, "Did you see any time a tall man in cap and coat with shoes moving around somewhere here?" The store person replied, "That's after thinking. I saw one man, tall with cap there, in a blue moon. He stopped his jeep and came here and asked for a packet of cigarettes. All of a sudden, that happened. A tall man moved down from a jeep and just crossed the road. Maybe he wanted to get cigarettes. We saw him from behind. He didn't come there. He might have seen us. Meanwhile, the jeep disappeared." "Is that the same man?" I asked to my friend. "Maybe, I don't know," he replied. We were exhausted and ate some bananas and cakes. Some more were packed for the students. Back at home, there was a dread the coming night. They assembled at the dining table, discussing the things. I said, "He may come again." I said to Vivek, "What do you say? You are expert in martial arts, I know. This is the best opportunity for you. I'll try. Let him come." These were the words of hope for all. Vivek was a champion in martial arts for the last 5 years at the state level. We were together in one room. Lekha was crying, thinking that she might be the next victim. I said, "No, Lekha, be confident. Nothing will happen." We didn't get sleep. The time is around 12 a.m. The rain started. All the lights outside the palace was on. But we waited without lights. At the back of the palace, there's a window. One can come easily through the window. Last time, he might have come through that window only. The time is now 1 a.m. Only we can hear the sound of the heavy rain. Now the time is 2 a.m. It was a moment of horror to everyone. Yes, he's coming. He's near the window, trying to come inside. He was carrying an iron rod. Vivek was waiting near the corridor. At the drop of the hat, Vivek kicked him from behind. He took his rod. He tried to hold him under his arms, but the tall man twisted and pushed him out, and he was running towards the gate. Vivek followed him in the heavy rain. Vivek had fallen down, and the man vanished in the darkness. Now we are coming to part 3. Let's go for idioms and phrases from the story. The first one, to make the matters worse. It is a compounding problem, making the problem compounded. They came out and observed that the tires of the vehicle are all damaged. This made the matters worse. The second one, to break the ice. To break the ice. To relieve the tension, that's the meaning of it. To break the ice, we teachers went for a walk. In a blue moon. Very rarely. In a blue moon. Very rarely. These are the words of the store person. I saw one man tall with cap there in a blue moon. All of a sudden, surprisingly, all of a sudden, surprisingly, all of a sudden, a tall man moved down from a jeep and just crossed the road. Next one is meantime. In between two events. Meantime. In between two events. Meantime, that's the time in between the tall man crossed the road and our talk. The jeep disappeared. Meanwhile, the jeep disappeared. Back at home, having returned. Back at home, there was dread the coming night. Back at home, having returned. Back at home, there was dread the coming night. Now the phrase is, dread the coming night. This implies a feeling of fear and tension about the coming darkness. Back at home, there was dread the coming night. Dread the coming night. Back at home, there was dread the coming night. At the drop of a hat, that's the next one. Instantly, without prior planning. At the drop of a hat. Instantly, without prior planning. Vivek was waiting near the corridor, and at the drop of a hat, Vivek kicked him from behind. At the drop of a hat. Instantly, without prior planning. Vivek was waiting near the corridor, and at the drop of a hat, Vivek kicked him from behind. Next and the last one is vanished in the darkness. To disappear suddenly, completely, and often mysteriously into a dark. Vanished in the darkness. To disappear suddenly, completely, and often mysteriously into a dark. When he was running towards the gate, Vivek followed him in the heavy rain. But he fell down, and the man vanished in the darkness. Vivek had fallen down, and the man vanished in the darkness. Vanished in the darkness, that is the phrase. When he was running towards the gate, Vivek followed him in the heavy rain. But he fell down, and the man vanished in the darkness. Now, there are some questions to answer. These questions are for you. The first question, this made the matters worse. What was the situation that made the matters worse? I'm repeating the question. This made the matters worse. What was the situation that made the matters worse? A pause of 2 seconds. Answer, the tires were damaged and we can't go ahead. Second question, who said that he saw such a tall man once in a blue moon? The question may be repeated. Who said that he saw such a tall man once in a blue moon? A pause of 2 seconds. Answer, the store person. Third question, which phrase convey the meaning of fear and tension about the coming darkness? The question to be repeated. Which phrase convey the meaning of fear and tension about the coming darkness? A pause of 2 seconds. Answer: dread the coming night. Dread the coming night. The last question: what did Vivek do at the drop of the hat? The question to be repeated: what did Vivek do at the drop of the hat? A pause of 2 seconds. At the drop of the hat, Vivek kicked the tall man from behind. That's all. This is okay for today. I think you might have understood the values of idioms and phrases in story narration. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share the video. Till we see next time. Okay, bye-bye.